Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Chase Demore.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And today, guys, as you can see, I'm unscathed. The sun is out. The birds are chirping.
He survived.
My teeth are as white as ever. I have all of them. I survived what was supposed to be a massacre, which was supposed to be a beatdown. Everybody thought I was going in there to basically write myself off. It was my own demise. I was supposed to get knocked out.
Yeah, no one believed in you.
I was supposed to get knocked out on
Saturday night. Don't take the fight. Don't do it, Chase.
Just a little backtrack on the story, just to catch you guys up. When I started boxing, this long journey that's taken up the majority of the last year and a half of my life, it's been an overwhelming journey. The last year and a half has been, to say the least, time-consuming, painful, treacherous, disappointments, laughters, tears.
Your body hurting a little bit,
travel.
Taking a few shots.
But it doesn't matter, because listen, guys, we got a dub. We got our first victory. And
Finally.
Finally.
You're 1 and...
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
We're after the robberies and all that.
Okay. We're not going to include the ones that shouldn't have counted.
Right. Regardless of what happened, just a little backtrack. Minicon, who I fought, Malcolm Minicon, he's a content creator from the U.S. We used to train at the same gym. In fact, he was actually a lot better of a boxer than me when we first started. In fact, he was actually on the first ever card, Social Gloves 2, that I fought on back in summer of 2022.
2022, yeah.
Yeah. It was a long journey, but the difference is like you show up every day, you put in the work, and eventually you're going to get better at a sport. Hopefully. You hope.
You'd think that everyone would get better, but apparently that's not the case.
So recently, I got offered a fight to headline Misfits 012 against HS Tiki Taki, who backed out of the fight, but for some reason was at the fight on Saturday.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was a little confused about that. I think it had to do with weight, though, too, didn't it?
I don't know, but all I know is me and Yogi looked right at this man and we said it should have been you. We had to let him know.
Fighting him.
We had to let him know.
Reverse?
We had to let him know that it should have been him, and he kind of got away with one. But essentially, guys, Minicon, who in the influencer space on paper was supposed to be levels above me. Like I was not supposed to fight this. This guy was supposed to fight.
What's his fight record?
It doesn't really matter his fight record because his argument is he's supposed to fight tougher guys than me, but I fought the toughest guys.
Yeah, you fought Alan Belcher, so.
Alan Belcher.
Yeah.
We fought, it doesn't matter. The point is I reached out to a couple people very close to me, and I'm a little bit hurt. And they're hurt about my response to it, post-fight. But in the moment, let me clarify some things. If I reach out to you and I am not feeling 100% confident about this fight, even my damn self, because it's going to be a tough fight. I know it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to take everything I have to get ready for this thing. And to be honest with you, we didn't really have that much time to get ready for it. If you think about it.
You for sure, 2 weeks in advance?
We got the contract January 11th. We fought 9 days later. Right?
You lost your mind. You lost your mind for that one.
He called us 4 days before that. So I roughly had about 10, 14 days to get ready for this fight. It doesn't matter.
They said, are you ready to go?
Are you ready to go? Against arguably the toughest guy I've had to fight yet. And, track record says, this guy on paper should beat me up. He has sparring footage that he's leaking. He's feeling really confident.
Yeah, people are not. Okay, let's go back to the sparring footage. You're not supposed to leak that.
Yeah.
It's like an unwritten rule. You don't put out sparring footage.
Yeah, it's a fighter's code. It's an unwritten rule of boxing is you don't leak sparring footage. It's a confidential thing. And, he was leaking sparring footage. He was talking about my personal life. He was saying a bunch of stuff. And, fair play to him because, it is a promo at the end of the day. And it is influencer boxing. I don't think he meant anything by it. But, particularly with this guy, the reason that it was so personal is because we used to be really good friends. Obviously we think back to when you were the only one fighting Nate Diaz and his entire army. Me and you fighting the entire Nate Diaz army.
I was just there for the support.
But you were there and you were pushing back and, he kind of...
I got my hair yanked.
Exactly. He froze up in the moment. Fair play to him. It's a fight or flight response. But, you being 5'2" or 5'3", however...
5'4".
Okay, whatever.
In the morning when I wake up, 5'4".
Okay, yeah, whatever. And, you fought back and, it was just me and you versus everybody else. And I think, this fight, it meant a lot. And, I reached out to my own manager and he was like, don't take the fight. And I was like, you're not my dad. Don't tell me to not take the fight. What do you mean? And, I found out that he told him that guy was probably going to beat me.
Wait, he told Minicon?
Yeah, he told Minicon he's probably going to beat me. And, and I found out, some of my friends that had mutual friends, they weren't sure who was going to win the fight. And I didn't really have anybody in my corner. And that's fine. But yeah, you were in the corner. But
excuse me.
But you know how much work I put in to beat this guy.
Okay, so, yeah, I see the behind the scenes.
You were the only one that was like, it's gonna be a quick trip for you.
That's why I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna go.
You
to
didn't
the
even
fight.
go. Yeah.
I was like, I'm not worried about it.
You're like, you can go beat him up.
I'm like, I have other stuff to do. Like, I know you're gonna win. Like, I'm not sweating this. Like, good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
I packed you some
Thank
snacks
God.
in your bag.
And thank God, and a little note that said, knock his bitch ass out.
I did say that. I wrote him a note and I put it in some like Trader Joe's goldfish and some Reese's.
It was actually funny. It was funny, guys. Misfits had brought it to my attention that Gabrielle here likes to run her mouth almost as much as I do, and to the point where she went onto the Misfits Instagram page and said, "You guys told him not to take the fight," with a bunch of clown emojis. She called them clowns. I got mad respect for that because. My own manager didn't believe in me. Keemstar from Happy Punch didn't believe in me. And I give credit to Keemstar too, because at the end of the day, Keemstar was the only one that actually, stood on business, messaged me as a man and said, I take back everything I said. You proved me wrong. Good job, champ. And everybody else was trying to tuck their tails and be like, well, I never said that.
Don't post that.
And then tell me not to post the screenshots. And I'm not talking about just one person in particular. This happened to multiple different people who didn't show up to the fight for various reasons. As you guys can see, I made a lot of revisions in the new year, and
couldn't get rid of me though.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were new to the team that have not previously been a part of the team before. Shout out to my friend Bren. He flew all the way from Spain to come support the fight. Shout out to my cousin Tony Ballo. He trekked it with me from start to finish. He never left my side. Made sure I was good from start to finish. Made sure I wasn't getting jumped. He was basically my shadow.
Ballo's a real one.
Yeah, I love that guy to death, man. And shout out to Coach Yogi, very underrated coach in the scene.
Oh yeah.
Very underrated coach. He's the
best.
He had an uphill battle. He was fighting. He had me to deal with, and he also had to coach against my former coach, Ivan. I love Ivan to death as well, but
it's different when you're stepping in the ring against a former teammate and coach.
It's because the teammate and my coach on the other side versus me. They know all my flaws. Yogi knows my flaws too, but he doesn't know any of the other stuff. And so Yogi had a full plate ahead of him as well, and I don't think he gets enough credit. So I want to just take a moment here on a public platform on the pod and really shout out to Yogi. We should be 2-0 100% because we've just dominated since we've gotten together. We're a power duo, and we have a strong appreciation for him. Gavin.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, he's so nice.
Yeah, you just learned how to spell his name right though.
So did you.
You're the one who told me to spell
why
it
you
wrong
come on
in
these
the first
podcasts
place.
and you always want to, do you find it funny trying to just throw me under the bus?
Yes, I find entertainment.
You spelled
no one
his
else
name.
does it to you.
You want to talk about the things Gab does wrong on the freaking day-to-day basis? We could go on hours. We go on hours. Last night, she lost my $3,000 cat.
Okay, the cat was hiding.
No, let me talk. You want to roast me all the time. Not once, but twice. You find it funny. Right? Let's see. She tears up my car on the day-to-day basis. She never cleans up after herself. So if you want to talk about other people, you're the messiest girl. Your IQ is that of a third grader at times.
At times, but other times I'm like a Albert Einstein.
So like I said, we're gonna go back to giving Yogi his flowers before he's sitting on the podcast and try to demean.
When's Yogi gonna come on here?
I don't know, but back to what I was saying about Yogi. I want to just make sure that he was very touched on that he's a very underrated coach in the scene. He does a really great job and he shows up each and every day. So like I said, going back to the fight, I just want to reiterate, there's a lot of changes that had to be made across the team. And we finally did it. We got the dub.
Woo!
We took care of business down there.
Let's go.
Finally. And I think moving forward, it's the ball's in our court. It's our fights to lose, from here on out. And I think that, we got a big year ahead of us, and this was the first stone. This was a big risk.
You have a lot of big stuff coming up too. I'm excited for the next fight.
Yeah, the next one's going to be big, and we're going to go beat up Roman Fury here in the summertime as well. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to doubt that one too. But I had a very powerful talk with Yogi right before we went out there. We were in the locker room praying and giving our praise to whoever you believe in above. And he pulled me aside right before we went out there. A lot of people don't know this was my dad's birthday as well. I didn't want to make any excuses, and I never reached out to anybody. And it was a very personal day for me, and nobody really knew what I was dealing with internally. And I think that, I sat there in the locker room for a bit and didn't really talk about it. And right before I go out, Yogi pulled me aside and he had a heart-to-heart with me. And it was a very familiar conversation because he said a lot of words that my dad used to tell me all the time. One of my favorite quotes I talk about, my dad used to tell me all the time was, you ever see a good fight,
get in it.
You get in it. you get it. You see a good fight, you get into it, and you don't ever play scared. And you know, I knew I was getting in a good fight in this one, and you know, Yogi had no idea what was going on, and nobody on the team really did. And he pulled me aside before I went out there, and he's like, "Hey, champ, I just want you to know that you know, your power, your thing is you have an ability to make non-believers believers, and you have a way to make people believe in you. Sometimes even if you believe in yourself or not." And, you know, that was something my dad used to tell me all the time. And I never really told Yogi that in that moment. And like, I really appreciated that because that, you know, gave me a lot of strength going out there. And I went out there and I was like, you know what, whether I have, you know, 5 guys against me, 10 guys against me, 20 guys against me, doesn't matter because, you know, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what I do best. And I'm going to give it my all in every single moment. And, you know, at the end of that fight, it should have been a knockout, 100%.
I thought it was in the first round, like at the very end, and then also round 2, you were like pacing yourself. I was like, okay, you just want to like drag it out, you know, make it a little bit more interesting.
Right.
Then round 3, I was like, oh, that's knockout.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I don't know what happened.
When he was over the
the disrespectful
ropes,
photo.
I was like,
oh my
bro is doing a back bend.
Right.
Bro is getting his back broken.
Yeah, you know, and like a lot of people saw me break down in emotional tears, and a lot of people were sitting there thinking like, you know, is he emotional because it's his first win? There's a lot of stuff going into that, but I just want to be very clear. There was a lot going on with me that day, and like I don't really speak on it a whole lot, but you know, R.I.P. to Pops, happy birthday, Pops. That one was for you, and you know, we brought back a very courageous victory, and it was David versus Goliath in fighting a giant like Minicon. And he's a warrior, and I want to give him his flowers as well. And he took it like a champ, and we shook hands afterwards. And we're gonna get, you know, back to working together here real soon and stuff. And so, you know, I want to give him his props too because he is a hell of a fighter as well. And you know, we both want to just continue to get better and take over in this space. So I really want to touch on that a bit. But enough of me rambling.
Your outfit was cool too. I would just like to say that. I look at the cutie stuff, like the outfits, and there's sparkles on it, so it got my attention.
This girl's talking as if she was like, don't wear that, you're gonna waste it on Minicon.
No, because it was so last minute, and I was like, you're gonna wear that outfit? Like, I thought you were gonna save that outfit for like the next fight.
What type of person would I be if I didn't show up and try to be the best looking dressed one in the room? Come on.
Okay, you wouldn't be Chase then. Let's be honest.
If it was $1,000, we're gonna spend $2,000 on the next one.
Gosh, I cannot even imagine. Do you have like a fight in mind for the next one or a timeline? Are we gonna give the people what they want to hear?
Yeah, and you know, that's what we do on this podcast, #1 podcast.
We drop some tea.
Drop some tea, and
we talk some crap. Drop some tea.
Exactly.
You know, stir the pot a little bit.
Exactly, and you know, we got the next one coming, and it's gonna be against Temple Arts. We're gonna have to go beat him up. We're gonna. That boy, he should be sweating bullets. I don't know if you saw at the end of the last fight, but we pulled this coach into the ring.
I saw that. Gabrielle.
Chase is trying to get somebody with sweatpants.
I literally hear the commentator go, oh, Chase is trying to get someone up with sweatpants and slides in the ring, and security's not letting him through. And then he gets up, and I'm like, oh, it's Gary Olive.
It's Gary Olive, Temple Arts coach. I let him know. Gary said, yeah, if I fight like that, I ain't beating Temple. Look, Temple Arts, man. You got something of mine. He's got something of mine. Gary knows he got something of mine.
What's that?
And that's my belt.
The Misfits belt.
The Misfits.
Heavyweight.
It's green. It's got a lot of gold on it. My personal belt, the white one's a lot better.
Yours is a little bit more pretty.
But you know, I gotta make sure he doesn't have that. I'm like, you ever seen Dragon Balls when they collect the Dragon Balls? Like he's got my 4-star Dragon Ball. I got the 1-star Dragon Ball. I gotta go ahead and gonna relieve him of duty with that. But you know, getting ready for this fight. You know, it was a lot going on with that too because I didn't tell Yogi this because he would absolutely kill me. And he told me no like 4 or 5 times throughout fight week.
I don't know what you're about to say.
So there was a Twitter troll, Bad Boy Beeman. I refer to him as Red T-shirt guy. He's a Call of Duty. He like exposes people for cheating on Call of Duty. He's a Call of Duty YouTuber.
Yeah.
And he's a boxer. He's an amateur boxer, white collar boxer. And you know, I wanted to make sure that I was conditioned enough to fight this fight. And a lot of people don't know this, but Balo and I took Balo with me in secrecy. You know, the day before the fight, we fought 2 days before the fight, Thursday, we got up early in the morning and we snuck off and we went and we fought Bad Boy Beeman. We did. We went and we did 6-7 rounds of sparring with Bad Boy Beeman and his coach.
Wait, did he tweet a picture?
He did. He told us in the moment, he's like, I'm not going to leak any of the footage until Monday. as soon as we sparred, he went and he posted it all over the
Yeah,
internet.
I was like, wait, I think I saw something about his face being bruised. Was that him?
Yeah, so we sparred, and for those of you guys that don't know, you don't really work out anything during fight week, let alone sparring. Right before a fight is
Don't tell me that,
dangerous.
Chase. Don't tell me that you did that.
Incredibly dangerous, and Yogi
No, it's
told us
incredibly
absolutely
stupid.
not. Very stupid, very very stupid. I recommend no fighter out there ever do that. It's the worst possible thing you could do. But we didn't.
So stupid.
We didn't even
Chase.
tell our coach about it. It was literally me and my cousin Bala. We're like, we got to do that.
I hope Yogi watches this and then says something to you about how stupid that was.
It's probably the dumbest, probably up there with the dumbest, because we
Because
could
you
have been
didn't even tell me
concussed.
that.
Yeah, no, because everybody would have told us not to do it, and we needed to go make sure that we were ready for this thing, because we weren't showing up to a gunfight with a knife essentially, and we needed to make sure that we were ready to do that. So we showed up. We did actually rounds on the pads with Beeman's coach before. They had me moving around. We worked up a sweat, and then we got in the ring and did a full 6 rounds of sparring against the red T-shirt guy who wants to fight Gary Olive actually. And it was good
How
rounds.
old is he?
I'm not sure. He's probably 34, 33. I don't know. He threw a hook. He threw a hook at me one time in the spar, and he actually cracked me in the nose, and I was leaking blood all over. Actually, Bala was trying to clean it up, and we got blood all over the place. We're like, oh, if we got a broken nose going into this fight, it's gonna be ugly, because the medical team could not clear us. Like, they wouldn't clear us if there's anything wrong with us, like from a loose tooth to. When you go there, you've seen it. Obviously, they check your jaw, they check your face, your eye sockets, your ears, they check your eye dilation. So any concussion, any blood or anything like that.
You are so stupid.
Probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. But like I said, there was a lot of pressure on us, and
What?
a lot of naysayers are saying that we weren't going to win this fight.
So then you go and spar before your actual fight.
Yeah, and like, it is what it is, and it kind of goes back to, like, after we won the fight, I'm okay with people coming to me and saying, like, okay, like, we fucked up and we thought that you were gonna lose, our bad, right? Don't switch up what you're saying. And so going back to, like, even like a manager, I make a point of this because he's one of my best friends and I love him very much. But like, the fact that he signed the guy that I was fighting after we weren't friends anymore, after I got jumped by the Nate Diaz army, and then he posted us both on the story saying both of us are warriors.
I swiped up on that one too, and I said, "What are you talking about? There's only one warrior."
Exactly. And Gabs talking crap to him, and it's like, and then he was very upset that I posted the screenshots of the messages and stuff like this, as if he's saying, like, you're changing what I say. It's like, no, bro. Like, here's the thing. I'm your boy. You signed me, and in fact, I probably make you a shit ton more money than that kid's probably making you, in comparison. And
This is the drama.
and now you want me to delete what I said when it's in my contract that I have to post about the fight. It's in our contract, so we have to promote this fight, by the way. You want me to delete what I said because you're referencing into it, and I specifically told him if you're embarrassed by it, then you shouldn't have said it. And I have no bad queries against him. I have no bad blood. It's no big, it's like I'm chilling. But the problem I'm gonna have is, don't tell me to change how I'm feeling emotionally, because when you said that in that moment, I had to live with that. I had to live with it. I had it as my wallpaper. I printed it off and put it on my mirror. I looked at that every single day. To the people that are supposed to be in my corner all the time that didn't believe in me. I had friends not show up to the fight for whatever reason.
But you're not talking about me. I would just like to put that out
Not
there.
talking about you.
You're not talking
you wanted
about
to come
me.
to the fight, and I told you there's no.
Yeah, and I also was like, I have stuff to do. See, I knew you were gonna win, so that's why I didn't come.
Right.
You're not talking about me.
I'm talking people that are supposed to be in their corner, who I reached out to, who have completely comp flights and hotels, and from managers to friends to family. Nobody wanted to show up to this one because nobody wants to believe in this story that we're writing, and that's fine, because those same people you take mental notes of, because now those same people are going to be in that other side of that fish tank, other side of that glass wall, because now it's like not us versus them, it's whoever's over on Chase's side versus everybody else.
It's like, okay, here's my thinking too. you can't just be a fair weather friend. Like
Yeah.
whenever you know you're gonna win, like only through the highs. You have to stick it out through the lows too. And I think that shows like the strengths of friendships as well, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Don't tell me that you're going to be my friend when it's convenient for you. Don't tell me you're
Yeah.
going to be my friend when it's all sweet and kosher and everything's good. You're my friend when I'm down in the gutter. You're my friend when I'm going to war. Like these fights, like anything could happen. You could get punched and never walk again. And because like, oh, I have to go to a meeting in Miami. You didn't show up to that. Because I can't support both of you equally. I'm non-biased. You didn't show up to that. Because I have to ask my parents if I can come. I didn't show up to that. Because I have to go to my girlfriend to Peru. I didn't show up for that. Because, you know, the same people that watch me get jumped.
The same ones that ask you, like, oh, can I come to this?
The same people that watch me get jumped. The same people that I'm fighting that fight didn't show up to. And then it's the same people that want to reach back out after you win the fight and talk about how proud they are. With all due respect, fuck all those people. 100%. And when you guys need something, don't call me. 100%.
That's fair.
100%. And like that's the way it's gonna be from 2024. I'm not putting up with that. There's not gonna be oh, I'll be at the next one because now all the hype's there. Now everybody wants to be on the
'cause it's the
PJs
drama.
and at the parties and in other countries. Nobody wants to go to Leeds, UK when it's raining and I'm fighting arguably.
You
with
didn't
this
even
guy.
wanna go.
I didn't even want to go.
The entire time you were bitching, you were like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go to this. This is so stupid.
Exactly.
I hate the weather.
Exactly. And so it's like now I'm jet lagged and I'm back. I'm coming off a win. Now everybody's proud. Don't call me.
Suspicious.
Yeah, don't call me.
Suspicious. Just a
Don't
little
call me. I came
suspicious.
back. I got my dogs. Douglas was happy to see me.
Oh my gosh, Douglas.
He didn't
is
even
so
get up and jump at me. He just sits there and he just picks his paw. He's
happy. He
like, "What
goes
up,
like
big dog?"
this.
He said, "Yo,
He dabbed you up.
good
He
stuff."
said-
Because
he
I'm
said-
trying to take him to. We got a Hawaii trip coming. I'm trying to take him to Hawaii, but yeah, you know, don't call me. And you know me, and Gab, like you know, tells me all the time I'm way too nice.
Oh my gosh. I've talked about this on the podcast before.
I'm way too
I've
nice.
literally been like, Chase,
I
you're too
spent
nice.
50 grand on all my friends on a trip after.
I got so pissed at you for that.
$50,000
That's
in
just
1 month.
stupid.
In 1 month, I spent 50 grand on us to have like this great vacation. And these are the same people that didn't want to show up because I gotta go to Miami. I gotta go to Peru with my girlfriend, and I gotta ask my parents. They're all in their mid to late 20s, by the way. So you guys do with that information as you will. But like, you know, I said, I'm not here to criticize or bash anybody, but like,
You're just stating the facts.
all I'm doing, I don't, like what I always say, I neither add nor take away from the story. I tell you exactly what happened, exactly how it happened, and you guys do whatever assumption with that as you will. But when you guys come and ask me, like, why is the team different? Who's different in our corner? And I don't want to sit there and have a powwow about it, because now you understand, like, moving forward, my cousin, he's my blood. He's pissed me off too, and he's missed fights because he had modeling shoots. But like, you don't
That's
pick,
work,
you don't pick
yeah.
your family. You know what I mean? Like like whatever. I'm gonna take him.
Yeah.
But I know two things about him. My friend Josh LeGrove, from him. If I was ever in a sticky situation where
He's the one that came sprinting.
he was busy doing something and he stopped what he was doing to run over and make sure that guy was good. And the 5 dudes that were there weren't even doing that.
And he comes running.
And he
sprinting.
came running. He lives in England. He could get expedited out of the country and
He
never
could
be
get in
allowed back
trouble.
here. But that's not about that. It's about making sure like I'm not getting stomped out. You know what I mean? And then you got my cousin who's going off on them in the group chat with the coach.
I
and
saw
everything.
that group chat.
Snapping at him like, what the hell? Like, these are the same dudes that want to sit at the tables and be on the PJs and like
Free food.
and I've already gone on this rant. I've gone on this rant in the previous podcast. We'll put the link right here. But like I've gone on this already, and I've talked about this. But like I just want to overemphasize, like what did you fair weather friends? Is that what
Fair weather friends, yeah.
like?
Because they're only there during the good and easy times when it's convenient for them. It's fair weather.
Right. And now I'm the biggest star in heavyweight boxing. I'm now the biggest star in heavyweight boxing. And you know what everybody else looks like? A bunch
What?
of jackasses. A bunch
Oh.
of jackasses.
I was going to use a different word, but that works.
What was the word you were going to use?
I was going to say they look stupid. They look silly.
And it's like, And it's like, guess what? That was supposed to be the toughest guy in the scene, and I made him look like a kid. What do you think I'm gonna do the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy? And then we headline at the end of the year against Roman Fury, and we beat Roman Fury, and we become the biggest star in boxing. Those same friends, you know what I mean? And then in the back of their head, you know what they're gonna be hoping? We hope that he gets knocked down a couple notches. And you know what that does to me internally?
Makes you want to prove him wrong.
Fuels me. I made a career, and Yogi said this before I went in the locker room. I made a career out of making the non-believers believers. I made a career off of living off this field. The more people talk about it, the more people hate. The more I feed off of that, and I.
You also like to do the exact opposite of what people say too, so I think it kind of like correlates well. So
Intentionally, I'll do that. Intentionally, I'll do that. But you know, enough about going off on a rant. I don't want to even give these guys any more time of day because you know how I feel about it, and you know.
Oh, we know.
You know, now we're in a situation where it's like.
A closer circle.
Yeah, we close the circle off a little bit more, and now.
Which is unfortunate, but sometimes in life, like that just has to happen.
That's how it is.
You just got to figure some things out. You might have to...
Especially because a couple of these guys in particular, and I've said this already, but were there when I was getting jumped. Now they weren't there when I was putting this one to bed. You know, and so, anyways. Moving on from the boxing, I'm very thankful Misfits 012. That was a great main event.
Next fight, woo!
Next one.
Another one.
A lot of you guys who haven't seen that yet, they brought out the mystery fighter against Ed Matthews and Luis Pineda. Man, the guy came out.
Funniest kid.
Funniest guy came out. Got the knockout win. Like he was looking rough at first, and then he weathered the storm. He put up his guard, and then he put out Ed Matthews.
It was a good fight.
Great fight.
I liked that fight.
HS Tiki Taki was.
Fox.
Fox?
Fox's fight was
Fox,
good too.
the motherfucking G.
He's
Fox
a kid
G.
Too.
I said it though. I said Fox G is an absolute stud, kid can box. I've been saying that.
No, you have. I remember that. You're like, don't ever tell anyone you were an amateur boxer too. You're like, hide that.
Don't ever say that. And he went out there and hit him with the hood. And then he sent an overhand. To finish him. And
it finished him, let's just say. He went night-night.
To a guy that arguably looked way more scary than him, to be fair.
And he was 10 years older. It was a 10-year...
Oh, he was 28, wasn't he?
Yes, it was a 10-year difference. That's what like half the press conference was he saying, I'm 10 years older than you. You're my son.
Well, just like every great father, he got beat by the son. One day, what do they always say? I'm going to get mine before I'm going to get got. Fox got his before he got got. Let me just say that.
I've never heard that saying before.
You ever heard like, I'm going to get got one day, but I'm going to get mine before I'm going to get got? You never heard that?
No, where's it from? I'm from Missouri.
Fair point. Yeah, you know, who else fought on that card? We got...
L and AJ.
L and AJ Bunker, love both of them. Shout out to the new champ, L. Shout out to AJ Bunker for putting on a great show. And
it was a good fight.
She was a courageous champ for a long time.
The lead up to it was good too.
Yeah,
like all the bickering.
It takes, guys, like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, check on people's mentals because it takes so much courage to even make that walk into a ring. Like, you're going into a fight. 99.9% of people would not even dare.
I'm part of the 99% that would never get.
Like, you're going against every human instinct to go get into a fight, and a lot of people wouldn't do that. So, shout out AJ Bunker, shout out El Brook.
Yes.
Another great show that put on Miles Raxu and DTG Deji. Great performance. Super nice guy. I swear to God, DTG is one of the nicest people. I got to really connect with him over Misfits 12.
He's been in the same dressing room or like getting ready room twice now.
Such a nice kid. The kid went and bought everybody flowers. Like he went and he gave all the Misfits people flowers. And, he's super nice kid.
That makes me want to give him a hug.
And this is before the fight. He was just being a nice kid, and I got to really connect with him. And he put on a great performance. And shout out Miles Raxu, a new heavyweight in the scene. And he showed up for his first fight ever. And you know, it didn't go his way that night, and that's okay because I had a great talk with him afterwards. And I think he does a great job with the character and the persona. And I let him know, like, he got under my skin at one point, and that takes a lot. And
what did he do to you?
He just runs his mouth a bit, and
like you don't.
That's why I'm giving him his flowers.
Okay.
I said, you know, he's doing a great job.
Okay.
He's doing a great job with that, and I told him I'd stick with it, you know, and I want him to keep boxing, and we need more heavyweights in this division. And
yeah, they do need more heavyweights.
They had a great fight. Most Wanted, you know, he found out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. He's a renowned internet troll, and I like Most Wanted a lot. He's a good
He
kid.
fought
He fought some dude that beat him up pretty bad, and like I said, he found out a little bit. It's not all internet trolling about
it's not
boxing.
always rainbows and butterflies when you step in the ring.
Exactly.
Sometimes
You get a lot of rainbows.
just a different type of rainbows and fairies flying around. You see some sparkles too.
Right, and so I give him an immense amount of respect for that. And who else we got on there? We got who else fought? Ed Matthews.
I said everyone that I know.
Um, Ashley Raxton and OJ Rose. They had a draw. Both warriors. I like OJ a lot.
Oh yeah, that was another good one.
OJ, he's new to the boxing scene, but he looks like a phenomenal in there. Ashley actually trained his butt off. He was the underdog going into that, and he put up a hell of a fight too.
He held his own.
From across the board, I will say Mams Taylor, great job, especially getting rid of the PBA. But great job, Mams Taylor. You don't get enough respect that you deserve. He balances all of his fighters, and he's got great personalities. And he pulled this show out of his ass essentially, because I thought the show was gonna suck personally, and
I thought it was gonna fall under whenever they announced like the PBA was like no longer with
Yeah, and
Misfits.
it was honestly one of the best Misfits shows to be a part
good.
of and to watch from the fan base. So shout out Misfits Boxing, shout out Mams Taylor, shout out all the extra people that show up, all the people behind the scenes, Chris, James, our chiropractor, everybody, our photographer. He asked me numerous times if he's coming on the podcast as well. We're gonna have to get him on here eventually. All these people that you guys don't see, they busting their tails, making sure they're putting on these shows for you guys as the audience. So make sure you guys give them their flowers. Shout out Happy Punch Fighters. Ben Davis, one that I forgot as well, absolutely crushed it. So
I have a big question though. Will Misfits ever come to LA? Hey, if you're watching, are you gonna ever be in LA?
LA's an expensive venue. It's hard to get people here.
That's fair. That's fair.
That would have to be a major card. Also, like transportation, trying to get people around.
I want to see KSI fight in the United States though. I want to see that happen. Like, come on, where's it at? Just an idea.
Guess I will fight this year.
Or maybe like Scottsdale. That would be a fun one.
That would be a good one.
That would be so fun. Misfits, go to Scottsdale.
Yeah, we're excited to see KSI go again this year. He announced that he was going to be fighting here real soon as well. And
Oh, he did?
yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, but he didn't say who. He just said it was going to be soon.
Yeah. And then, they pull out the Misfits boxing rankings. They have me tied for #1 overall. It shouldn't even be a tie because I beat
With who?
Temple Arts. Shouldn't even be a tie. But Misfits pound for pound power rankings, we're the best heavyweight in the division, and we're the guy to beat. And everybody's coming for us. And look, we're ready for him because what do we always say? Anybody, any place, anywhere. So I mean, great weekend.
Next time you got to have some good team uniforms.
Happy to be back, but moving from that, Gab spent her time in LA, so she's going to tell you about how she built flowers while I was trying to give people flowers.
No, literally, so I went to an event with Two Face, not the same as boxing because it was literally a floral bouquet class. But anyways, I was talking to this girl who was sitting next to me, had no idea who she was, whatever. The sweetest, you're nice to everyone whenever you're anywhere. Anyways, then I find out it was like the head executive director of Two Face. And then today, literally this morning, like 2 days later, I find out that, oh, they loved you so much. Two Face wants to work with you. Guys, I was starstruck. I've been using this brand since I was literally in like 8th grade. And so years later, I'm like, this is so cool. Like I went to the event, I made some friends. I'm gonna go to headquarters soon and have tea with them. I was not getting punched in the face for that, but we made some cute flowers, hung out with friends. I'm trying to think what else happened while you were gone. I was holding down the fort with the animals. I was dog sitting, watching the cat. Why are you looking at me like that? What? You're making.
So I was getting punched in the face.
I was literally making flowers.
And having tea.
No, the tea's gonna happen soon. I went to some good restaurants too. Yeah.
I mentioned that your life is so difficult.
I worked out too. Ran a few miles. Listen, I've already said it once. I'm not a fighter.
I played with the cat.
Yeah, I played with the
lost
cat.
twice.
Okay, to be fair, let's talk about how the cat disappeared. So I was just cleaning and stuff and just like organizing some stuff that just really needs to be organized. And all of a sudden I realized the cat's gone. This cat's usually like within 2 inches of me all the time. Is he not always right next to me? Usually all 3 animals are right next to me, to be fair.
You got a crew.
I have a crew. I have a zoo. I have a zoo now. Anyways, I realized, oh shoot, this cat's been gone for like 15 minutes. Maybe I should start looking for him. And I'm looking, he's not making a noise.
You had security come help you look for the cat.
Yeah, so this was last night. I'm like, shoot, did the cat like somehow book it? Like, I don't know when this cat would have gone outside, but like, I lost this brand new cat. Like, this cat's 3 months old. It's probably gonna get ran over by a car. Like, this is not gonna be fun news to break to Chase.
My
so I
$3,000 cat.
I texted him and I'm like, hey, do you have the cat? Like, this is not funny. Like, I literally texted you, this is not funny, where's Ollie? And he just ignores me. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's pulling a prank on me. So then I continue looking for this cat. Still no sounds. I'm now doing laps around the apartment. I find security and I'm like, hey, if you see an orange cat, please let me know, because I'm gonna get murdered by Chase if this cat went, missing. So then about like 30 minutes later, I'm about to burst out in tears and I'm freaking out. I'm like, how am I gonna break the news to Chase? Like, I made jokes too. The worst part of this is I made so many jokes saying that if you got a cat, I would make it disappear. Because I'm not a cat person. I'm allergic to them, don't like them.
I love Oliver.
Yeah, well, now I like him too, and I was about to start crying that I may have lost him. Partially because I was scared of how you were going to react. But I found him.
The craziest thing was you asking me if I did something with the cat. And I'm saying,
because I thought you were playing
I know there's
prank on me.
0% chance that you're trying to gaslight that I lost my own cat.
I thought you were trying to prank me and be like, oh, Gabrielle, you're so stupid. Like, this is the cat. It's right here. Anyways, after about 45 minutes, this cat.
This is a giant Maine Coon.
He's 5 pounds.
He's 3 months old and he's 5 pounds.
Okay, he's 5 pounds. Anyways, I look over. He's sitting on a pile of clothes in the closet, just quiet, just looking at me. He looks up like he just woke up from a nap, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
In other news, we're going to talk about Mr. Beast for a second, because I'm a big fan of Mr. Beast. Love Mr. Beast. Learn a lot from Mr. Beast, from thumbnails to YouTube videos to storytelling even. Mr. Beast recently went viral on Twitter, or X I should say, formerly known as Twitter, for testing the revenue system. A lot of us content creators who are streamlined into X.
I haven't seen this.
You make a couple dollars per ever X amount of views. They're trying to monetize it, but ever since Elon Musk took over X or Twitter back in like 2022, it's been on like a downward trend. People aren't making any money. I think, I get millions of impressions on Twitter and I made like 15 bucks.
I can't even get monetized on Twitter.
Right, and so Mr. Beast wanted to test how much money people were making on X, and this has actually started a lot of controversy from people saying like, now that he's done that, it's taken away from their purses. Well, he actually went viral recently. I sent you this article, so we're gonna go ahead and put a screen share on here somewhere. And basically, he posted an old video that he had made on YouTube, straight to X, where he made a whopping, go ahead and tell them.
$250,000 US. You have to be kidding me. This is yes.
US dollars off of one video that he posted to X. $250,000 he made off not one video. It's an old video that he already monetized on other platforms that he moved over to X exclusively, and X paid him out $250,000.
I'm doing something wrong with my life.
So
I'm doing something wrong.
So a video he already had on his phone essentially made him that much money. And, a lot of people were saying that he essentially was pulling for people's purses because some people said they had the same amount of impressions but somehow made less money that month. I don't know. I think there's some shakiness going on that X platform. So I've not really dove into the monetization of it that much. I get like 15, 20 bucks a month off of it. It's not making me
I get none.
anything. Well, you make it more on, TikTok needs to pay their creators better.
Oh, no, I think TikTok is actually scamming their creators. I have a theory.
The only platform that's not really scamming people
is Snapchat. But they just changed the algorithm, so it's going down a little bit. I noticed.
You've been testing it.
I've been testing the algorithm. Okay, should I talk about the TikTok one? I legitimately think TikTok is not paying their creators. So I posted several TikToks to see. I was taking screenshots of the analytics, and the new creator beta, the way that they pay people, you can only get paid from views from the For You page. If your followers are viewing your stuff, you're not going to get paid, which in my head, that doesn't make sense.
Any sense at all.
Like, that makes zero sense. So you're telling me if the algorithm works in my favor, I'll get paid. But if the people who are loyal to me are watching my stuff, it's not going to do crap. Stupid. And the
what's the point of
RPM,
having a following, man?
the RPM will range, like mine's about $1.20, but some videos it's like 80 cents. So every 1,000 views, you'll get $1.20.
And you know, here's the more messed up part is it's like now they're promoting like other things. Like I remember when I first started TikTok, I was getting hundreds of thousands of views off of basically posting.
I never made money on TikTok.
Posting like almost nothing. I think back in the original Creator Fund before I was on TV, I made like 20 grand.
See, and everyone always talks about how much money they're making from TikTok Creator Fund and this and that. I just think I don't have a good, like, I'm not in their favor or something. Like, and I'm seeing these smaller creators with like 500,000 followers making like $10,000 a month just from this TikTok Creator beta. So I was testing this theory and I refreshed my page after like 2 days of letting this one TikTok of me trying British food. And all the analytics changed. So instead of me getting like 78% views from the For You page, all of a sudden it was like 10%, but then 68% was from the search. So because all the analytics switched over, I maybe made like $10 from this video that has hundreds of thousands of views, because you can only get paid if it's from the For You page. And for some reason it said the search bar ended up getting me paid in the views. So something's not adding up. I don't know what's going on. And I've seen it on some of my other TikToks too. I don't know. It's just weird, the monetization, how people are making money now, because it's just random. You can't predict it anymore.
Yeah, and the way that they're doing it is they're promoting that self-promotion thing. Have you seen that, Gab?
Oh, yeah. Where you could buy views.
You could basically buy views now, and you promote your own TikTok, and you can drive audiences to more fun. I think it's stupid because back when I first started, man, I would post like just sound overviews or like a catch or something, and it's getting, 100,000, 200,000 views, which is a lot when you only have 10,000 followers. And now it's like, I have over 2 million followers on that app, and it's like, in order to break a threshold of 1 million views, it's either got to be a ridiculously viral video, or B, it's having to pay to promote it to get X amount of audience or hit this audience, or you have to add the TikTok shop, or
No,
like
it's
the
just
ad wars, or it's just like stupid how they're.
It's not predictable. It's like so unpredictable. Like you don't know if you're gonna have enough money. I'm worried for creators who are, using TikTok to literally pay their rent and their bills, because you don't know now when things are gonna like consistently do well. Like I had a video get 4.3 million views. The next day I had one that got like 1 million views, but then since then it's been like 20,000 views, 50,000 views, maybe 100,000 views. Like imagine if I was relying on TikTok to pay my rent. Like I'd be screwed, because they've just changed everything so much.
Yeah, and like I said, like that's why I go back to the Mr. Beast thing. Is like I dive into a lot of what he's saying. And like a lot of my For You page now is like educating me on like feller growth and all that stuff. It's just like it's kind of like difficult because TikTok specifically wants you to do certain things in order for the video to do good. Like if your content is short form content and you don't have money to promote it and that's how you made a living, no, they've changed the algorithm now. Now we want long form content, we want series content, we also want you to use the add yours button, and we also want this filter, we want you to edit on the app, and then we want you to pay to promote it at the same time. And then we'll push it out there.
Crazy.
Seems a bit difficult.
Yeah, but for that reason, be sure to add us on Snapchat, guys. At Gabrielle_Moses and at Chase DeMore. We post all the time on Snapchat. Snapchat actually takes care of their creators, so shout out you guys.
Shout out you guys. But do you have any dating questions for the people?
I do. So in the DMs, we're always asking some interesting stories because we want to get you guys involved. This week is some very, very terrible dates. So let me go ahead and open those up, which I'm so sorry for you guys who have bad dates, because the dating life is rough.
And like, while she's getting into that, guys, just know you guys love hearing stories about my crazy ex-girlfriend, and I'll give you guys another story right after she's gone.
Okay, so first one. The worst date, I went to Applebee's and my date could not, even for a moment, stop talking about Dragon Ball Z. We were both about 20 years old. I didn't get to say anything. It's a shame because he was super handsome. The entire dinner talked about Dragon Ball Z, which that's why I was giggling
What do you got
earlier.
against Dragon Ball Z?
Well, I mean, come on. If you're on a dinner date, at least talk about something else, you know?
Dragon Ball Z's lit.
Whatever. Okay, here's a little bit of a better one. You might be able to relate to like college time. We were supposed to have coffee. He arrived late. The conversation was torture because he just did not want to talk. He looked distracted and I asked why. He said his buddies were drinking in the dorm and he wanted to go drink with them. I said, cool, you don't have to stay. So he left. The end. Bro really said, okay, fine.
Why don't you tell the people what an ideal first date for you would be, Gab?
A first date
these people
for
want
me?
to figure it out.
I've already said this on the podcast. It would be like an activity, like Top Golf or like going bowling or something, or like even a hike. Because I'm not going to sit down at a dinner date for the first date. Like that's scary. That's a little bit too much pressure. If I order a steak instead of a salad, sorry, I don't want you getting mad at me for that. I don't want you to be looking at me while I'm chewing my food. Like, I'd rather go out and do something, you know? Even like an arcade for a first date, you know? I think that would be nice.
Hey, look, guys, if you guys want my advice, I'd say stay away from the girlfriends because I'll tell you guys another story about my crazy ex-girlfriend. You guys want to hear about my crazy ex-girlfriend? You guys love these drama and tea.
Yeah, these always get
These always give you
crazy.
Okay, so my crazy ex-girlfriend at one point took a very particular interest in finding out how to get boys more sexy or horny in the bed, right? And so her plan was, she read a book or an article or something, that if you do a certain thing in the middle of the night, it's supposed to amplify them, and if it doesn't work, then they're cheating on you. This was going on in her head, mind you. And so she was convinced that I was cheating on her. Mind you, I'm probably like 19 at the time. I don't even have social media, and I can barely handle her, let alone other girls, on top of getting my degree in school and playing football first time. So I drove 4 hours to go visit her. I spent the night with her, knowing I was gonna have to wake up in the morning and drive 4 hours back. In the middle of the night, I woke up to her having an ice cube and a snake on my chest. An ice cube and a snake.
Snake?
Hold on, let me tell you why. She read somewhere that the ice cube will wake up and make me more horny. And if the snake bites me, it means I was cheating on her because snakes have an intuition inside of them to know. You ever heard that saying, it takes a snake to know a snake? She was fully convinced that the snake was going to bite me to the point that I woke up to not only the ice cube melting down me, to her anticipating the snake and smacking it in the table to get it to bite me. And when I freaked out on her and asked her what the hell she was doing, she completely gaslit me and told me the only reason I was being defensive about her newfound intuition was because I was full on cheating on her with a specific girl who happened to be the manager of our football team at the time, mind you, who was like 10 years older than us and did our laundry.
What?
So after going to church the next day, because we had to go to church because she put a snake on me and was convinced that I was some sort of part of the devil, we had a nice conversation about why it is that I no longer like reptiles. And now you know why I don't like snakes.
Wait, it was a live... I have so many questions. It was a live snake?
It was a live snake. She went to the pet store down the street from her house.
There's no way.
Bought a snake, put it in her car. Didn't tell me about it because you can't tell them about this, right? Got the ice cube. Froze like a bunch of ice cubes, like the square ones. And I was sleeping in the bed and I woke up to the ice cube going down my chest, and there was a snake crawling up the other side. And her smacking the snake's tail trying to get it to bite me.
I'm too shocked to speak. Because...
This girl, and in my head, guys, this is my first girlfriend. I'm like, you know, she read an article. She somehow...
You thought this was normal? You kept dating her?
Her logic backed it. She's like, you were religious people. She goes, you know, the snake is supposed to bite. It happened in Hunger Games. You remember in Hunger Games when the guy goes to the tank and he throws the handkerchief in there because the snakes don't...
Yeah.
So she, similar to that philosophy, she said if the ice cube works, it means I was faithful to her and I would have woke up with a ginormous boner.
You both have screws loose in your
And if
head.
it didn't work, the snake was going to bite me.
Okay, I don't get that.
And so I told her my only options were to either wake up with frostbite or wake up with a snake bite.
See, you should have dumped her then.
She's a great girl. Great girl. She's got a great boyfriend. I don't even know if she has a boyfriend now. She might have a boyfriend. But, like I said, guys, don't take my dating advice.
Jeez. Yeah, no thank you.
I'll tell you guys, might as well just make this a series. Telling stories about Chase's crazy ex-girlfriend.
That should be a new series. Every single podcast, you have to have a new story about her.
And this is why we will remain single until the day we D-I-double.
How long did you guys date for? 5 years?
17 to 23.
18, 19, 20, 21, 6 years. No, 5 years. 5 years.
It's almost a decade, guys. Broke up on Valentine's Day. That's a story for a different take. That's all the time we got today. Thank you guys for tuning into the #1 podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Chase Demore.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Chase
Bye.
out.